Welcome back, and we earlier said that we're going to talk about the Egyptian-African cooperation in the educational field, and to shed more light on this issue, we are joined over the phone by Dr. Nabil Gad, an educational expert. Good morning, Dr. Gad.
Good morning, Ms. Dina.
But first of all, if you could please shed more light on the Egyptian-African ties in different fields of education.
Well, these African countries are, that we say, brothers or sisters of the same continent. And the amount of good relationship with them is developing and growing all the way through, thanks to the effort done by the Egyptian leadership, political leadership, I mean. They have to exchange visits, they have conferences and meetings held with each one of them. And recently, His Excellency the President has already given the lead to another African country after 4 years of continuous, endless efforts done in this field. This cooperation is actually well appreciated by all means and in all time. We have different forms of support given to them in the educational field. Let me mention, of course, that in each African country there is what we call the cultural attaché, who is in charge of strengthening these relationships and ties together. And we wish them the best of luck, of course, in all the endeavors they have.
Right. What about the different forms of support provided by Egypt to the African countries to empower the educational process there?
Well, I think there are some scholarships given to these African countries. And let us remember what the famous university all over the world, Al-Azhar, one of the oldest universities in the world, and the missions and the free scholarships, I mean, that give to the students coming from there. For sure, I'm dead sure that these graduates of Al-Azhar University or Egyptian universities in general will be so grateful to what Egypt usually does for them, trying to put them, backing us up in all the issues, especially what we have, the crisis of the Ethiopian dam. And they will also continue this. They will not stop. Egypt is also the gateway, which is not an end. It is just the beginning of more cooperation, more development, and more promising and bright future for all African countries. And as we all know that Egypt is not only an African country, but part of it concerning Port Fouad and Sinai are of the Asian continent. So we'll keep our fingers crossed for such cooperation going on.
Right. How do you see the importance of establishing branches for Egyptian universities in a number of African countries?
Well, I think in the near future we'll all listen and hear about some Egyptian universities established there. As we have vivid examples here in Egypt, the American University, which is the oldest of them, more than a century ago, the Japanese University, the Chinese University, the Russian University, the King Salman University, and so many of these co-workers with us in the field of scientific research, not only in teaching students. And we have also, I think, some of the postgraduate studies. So many of the African scholars come to Egypt, or maybe they send paperwork to be evaluated for promotion in their countries. And this is a very good role Egypt usually does.
Right. There are also presidential initiatives that is empowering and enforcing the educational process for African youth and also for training them at the same time. So if you like to shed light over these initiatives.
Yes, I think this LEAD initiative, as Egypt is considered a leading country in the African continent, maybe it concentrates on a few points I can sum up saying about the general health, about the green, number two, the green change, the interactive issues, and the open scientific research for all people. We share together. As it's well known that participation with such African countries is applicable to what we say always, that two heads are better than one. So we are more than two heads, and the exchange of experience will help a lot. I just remember now that in other fields rather than technology, in the field of construction, there is a very famous dam built, being built in Tanzania, of Nyerere Dam. So if we build dams, we can build cultures and educational issues.
Exactly, exactly. Dr. Nabil Gad, educational expert. I'd like to thank you, sir, so much talking to The Breakfast Show. You have a beautiful day. And by this, we come to the end of this edition of The Breakfast Shows. Many thanks to all of you. Until we see you again tomorrow morning.